Okay, so we have another video here. This is from a litter of working English Cocker Spaniel puppies that were born, I believe, one day earlier or maybe even the same day as the PBGB puppy from the previous video. Um, this litter was raised in a pretty similar fashion. Again, I don't know both parents for this litter, but I know mom very well. She's really a nice, stable dog who competes in agility and scent work. These are puppies that were raised with a lot of handling and enrichment. So pretty similar background to our PBGV litter, but I think you'll see a lot of breed differences in how these puppies evaluate. So we saw little Pumpkin greeted the tester pretty readily. She's checking out the environment, moving quite a bit quicker. We'll see a lot more running and galloping as opposed to the walking and trotting that we saw from the PBGV puppy. She thought about greeting, but she was maybe still busy sniffing. And you can see this puppy is pretty comfortably walking on the surfaces with all 4 feet, kind of not even really too aware that they're there. She's so busy sniffing, she's not even really noticing what she's walking on, I think, some of the time. And I think we're about to pee. Yep. Yeah, so she's engaging pretty readily, definitely trying to make friends with our tester, and really walking on everything without thinking too much of it. Now we have our singing dog, who is sometimes a little more intimidating. And clearly not bothering her much at all, even when his ears bopped her in the face. Yeah, so we did have a little back off, and I think that was more because the toy actually did bop her in the face. It wasn't so much the noise as the movement. But as soon as it stops moving, she goes back and checks him out. And now we're gonna do the same thing. We're just using a little piece of string cheese because it's something soft that the puppies can eat without really knowing what to do with their teeth yet. Yeah, and what we saw pretty consistently from this litter is what you can see with her too is that with the food, they're actually a little calmer and a little more focused. Not necessarily more willing to engage, but I think just a little more settled when there's food, which might be something to think about in their training later on, that for training things that require more concentration and focus, that food might be the best reward as opposed to toys or other things that might get them more excited. The flapping ears don't matter at all when you got food. So she's like, I want all the things. I'm going to try to grab the things. Okay, so again, sorry, we're a little out of camera range, but the tester is cradling her in her arms. And then at the end of 15 seconds, we'll set her down on the ground and see if she's willing to still engage, which she was, really pretty readily. So this is an active puppy, but she's a very social puppy. Okay, so now we're going to be bringing in our friendly slash neutral dog. So a little more direct approach, kind of right to the front. But then she sort of realized, like, oh, maybe that dog didn't love that. And she does back off and approach to the side, which is a really a more appropriate way for a puppy to approach. She is, even though this is not the same breed or color as mom, she did think maybe the snack bar might be open. And that is why, when possible, I try to use a different breed because you get a little bit less of that. So she's being a little bit bolder, not inappropriate, but definitely a little more brazen than you sometimes see from a baby puppy with an adult dog they don't know. And that's why it's really important to use an adult dog that you trust explicitly with puppies. Okay. Yeah, so objects, play, and retrieval, it's normal to see a lot more engagement from a sporting dog puppy than we saw from our PBGV puppy. Just kind of breed differences. She did lose track a little bit there. And you have to remember with these baby puppies not to throw very far because they really don't have a whole lot of visual tracking at this age. Although that wasn't too far, she just lost focus a little bit. Yeah. Okay, and not surprisingly, we've got quite a bit of tug, some visual prey drive here. Putting your mouth on things is definitely more of a sporting dog trait than a hound trait, but also baby attention span's a little short. Just wait, I'm too busy. There you go. Okay, now we're just gonna ignore, and she's just gonna sit there and say, excuse me, there's a puppy here, you're ignoring me. Hello, puppy, aren't I cute? Why are you ignoring me? But she is waiting pretty nicely with the tester, staying engaged with the person, even when the person's ignoring her. She doesn't immediately wander off and go get into trouble, which is nice to see that level of sociability. Okay, so no real startle there. Immediately, like, oh, cool, a new thing in my space. And again, we're seeing a lot of fast moving, a lot more galloping and running than we saw with our other puppy. And that really comes down to breed differences in energy level. So not quite as excited this time. A little bit of mouthing, a little bit of playing, no real fears or concerns. She's discovered she can make it span. She was. Very, very tiny startle, more just noticing it, approaches the can right away. Really pretty nice, confident response. And then gets excited. One thing I wanted to note, because I think it just speaks to how differently these puppies move through space, is that this video was almost 2 full minutes. Actually, it was 2 full minutes shorter than the exact same test with a puppy who also tested really nicely, but just different breed, moves through space differently. Um, just kind of, as I said, I think that really speaks to the difference in energy level. And these were both puppies that I thought tested really nicely, but were kind of typical of their breed. I know that Pumpkin has gone to a home where she's going to be doing scent work and some agility, so she'll, I think, make a nice sports prospect for somebody. Probably a dog that might be a little bit busy in the average pet home just because of her energy level. But given a job to do, she'll probably do very, very well.